Senator McDaniels, if you'd like to sit at the end there and give us a little brief. I'm sorry, Colonel McDaniels. Give us a brief scenario of your background.
Yes. Again, thank you for having me here today. I joined the military in 1990 from Philadelphia, Mississippi. Okay. From Philadelphia, Mississippi. I'm a veteran of the war in Iraq in 2004 to 2006. I've always appreciated my time. I've worked with, I believe, everybody on this in this panel sitting here today, including Bob as a fellow attorney. So the veterans, I never thought in high school this would ultimately be my life, but working with veterans on behalf of veterans and service members has been a privilege for me, and I greatly appreciate the chance to serve in this position.
Thank you, Ms. McDaniels. I have a couple of senators here that might want to speak on your behalf. Senator Parker. Thank you, Senator Parker. Senator Kirby, you have a few words you'd like to say? Thank you, Senator. Are there any questions? If there are no questions, I will ask the pro tem for a motion. Do I hear one from the? All those in favor? All those opposed? That nomination passes, and we'll take it up on the floor.
All right. Thank y'all very much. Very humble. Thank you. Thank you, Senator.
With Mr. Billy Pierce, you sit up in that chair there. This is Senate nomination number 67. Billy Lamar Pierce, retired Decatur, Mississippi. He's being appointed to the State Veteran Affairs Board to represent the 3rd Congressional District as it exists in 1992. Unexpired 5-year term effective September 1st of 21 and ending May 31st of 2025. Mr. Pierce, would you give us a brief history of yourself?
Yes, sir. Be glad to. First of all, I'm very honored to be considered for this committee. I'm a veteran of 36 years myself, and I joined the joined the Army National Guard in 1968 in Decatur, Mississippi, and spent 6 years enlisted. Decided I liked the military and went on to Fort Benning, Georgia, and got my commission as an officer candidate school. Spent another 27 years in field artillery and various units in the state of Mississippi. To the United States Army War College in Carlisle Barracks, Pennsylvania. And I just feel honored to even be considered, because if there's any way I could go along beside a veteran to help any veteran in any way, fashion, or form, that would be my desire. Kind of in the civilian world, I was a biology and chemistry teacher in high school. I ended up being superintendent of education in Newton County Schools. Retired from the military in 2004. Retired from the superintendency in 2008. Here I am.
I failed to mention, this is retired Brigadier General Pierce, right?
Yes, sir.
Also, his peer report, there was no derogatory information. Are there any questions from the committee? Do I hear a motion? All those in favor? All those opposed? The nomination passes. We'll
Thank
take
you
it
very
up.
much.
Thank you. Next, we have Brigadier General Norman. I'm sorry. James Max Finn. I don't see him. Not present. Flynn, would you give us a little brief history of yourself?
Yes, sir. Thanks, as my colleagues have said, too, it's a great privilege to have this opportunity to be before you. A week after I graduated Gulfport High School, I walked right into the Marine Corps at Parris Island, served active duty, Marine Corps Reserve. Then I transitioned to the Mississippi Army National Guard, was in 20th Special Forces Group up at Camp McCain in Grenada. Served in Beirut in '83, the Persian Gulf War in '91, Operation Uphold Democracy in Haiti in '95, which convoy I was a part of was run off the road. I was struck, subsequently medevaced, which led to my medical retirement. So I've been enrolled in the VA healthcare system for some 28 years, so I'm familiar with how that process works. This is a reappointment for me. The last 4 years it's been a privilege to be on this board.
That's a very good explanation. Mr. Finn, Mr. Finn's going to be representing the 4th Congressional District. Like he is from '92, he'll serve through 2026. Are there any questions from the board?
This is a reappointment for you, correct?
Correct.
So while I have an opportunity, or while you're here before us in this committee, is there anything that you have experienced while serving on the board that you would like for us as the Veterans Affairs Committee to know about or be more cognizant of as we move forward?
I don't think so. From our monthly meetings, the executive director keeps us apprised of all of his engagements over here. Clearly, with COVID, we've faced some tremendous, challenges with, our veterans population, funding, battling COVID, and all that. So I don't think there's anything that leaps out at me that we're not already addressing.
I appreciate that. I just want to say, Did you graduate from Gulfport?
I did.
You moved back to Gulfport.
Well,
I mean, you know,
the
it's
short story was, so my parents divorced, my mother remarried, we moved to the coast right after Camille, because that's where all the work was. And so,
Well, sir, I want to thank you for your service to your country and to your service for the state of Mississippi, and especially for the service for the veterans of our state. Thank you very much.
all right.
Are there any other questions? Hear a motion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Nomination passes again, so we'll have you for another 4 years. Next up, Dan or Hank Singley Jr. Mr. Singley is going to be for the Mississippi Veteran Purchase Board to represent the 3rd Congressional District. And as it existed on May 1st, 1987, the unexpired 4-year term effective August 2nd, 2021, ending June 30th, 2024. Ms. Singley, you give us a brief history.
Yes, sir. Be glad to. School at Ole Miss for perform up to standards. Didn't flunk out, but just wasn't doing well. So this is back during the days of the draft, and I never dreamed. Wasn't gone a few weeks before I got reclassified. Wound up enlisting January '67, just to avoid being drafted. Knox, Kentucky, with the Armor School, trained as an armor crewman. Canada School. December 1967. And then 6 months later, I reported to the Road Flight School in Texas. Started helicopter training. So first half at Fort Walters, then was primary training, then your second half was at Fort Rucker. School in January '60. Cav, Alpha Troop, first of the night. Actually, a weapons pilot. Ships. And eventually got the offer to take over as commander, be lieutenant commander of the scout platoon. So the scout platoon was the observation helicopters we flew 6. Some of the movies you'll see them described as fast. Did that for a few months, and then reconnaissance assignment one day, we got into some trouble. Actually, shot down is not exactly correct. I got the aircraft was forced down. We got it on the ground, and I taken a couple of rounds in the leg. Zama, Japan, where I stayed for about 10 weeks. I came back to Easter Air Force Base, where I stayed from. Went back to active duty in August '70, and went back. I was actually finished out my term in the Army, got discharged in November of '71. Actually, I moved to Hattiesburg when I was back and forth to Birmingham. Applied for and was accepted into the Air National Guard unit there. Took a lot of paperwork to get from the Army to the Air Force. Was accepted and got a slot to go Air Force flight training, which I reported for in May of '73. Finished up most of that program. I was toward the end of it. Anyway, recreational trip, skiing trip to New Mexico with several of the guys. I got injured in an automobile accident. Excuse the Air Force. So I decided that I'd spent some time in orthopedic wards, so that maybe I was supposed to be an orthopedic. Backed off of that, and anyway, I middle school being built here in Jackson, and I had an interest in that. Applied for that, and accepted. I had to wait a year. Got accepted the first year I applied, but I was an alternate for the class. I didn't have enough slots in that first class. Started that, and graduated from dental school, and accepted my dental degree.
Stingley, you've had a long and blessed career so far, and we
Lucky to
hope
be
to
here.
keep it going. Also, Ms. Stingley's peer report come back with no derogatory information. Are there any questions from the committee? Do I hear a motion? All those in favor? All those opposed? The nomination passed. Next up, thank you so much, Mr. Stingley. Mr. Dickey Stevens. Mr. Stevens is from Isola. I've never heard of that. He's being appointed to the Veteran Home Purchase Board to represent the second congressional district as it existed in May 1987 with the unexpired four-year term effective August 2nd, 2021, ending June 30th of 2023. Ms. Stevens, you give us a little background on yourself? Well, thank you, Mr. Stevens. Also, his peer report come back with no blemishes. Do I hear a motion or is there any questions? All those opposed? That nomination will be sent forward to the floor. Thank you. Our last one. And I'm going to ask for a motion that we take these up in block. It will be the appointment and then the following term for Mr. Anthony Stockstill. Nomination 107 and 108. Everybody got opposed to this? Favor say aye. Aye. Opposed. Okay. Mr. Stockstill's peer report come back favorable. Ms. Stockstill, will you tell us a little bit about yourself?
First of all, appreciate the opportunity. I started at McDonald Funeral in 50.
Stockstill, is there any questions of the committee? I hear a motion. As in consents to motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? That motion carries. Before the committee, let me give us 1 second. Well, the requirement is if you're a new appointment, and that's what we was going by, is if he's a new appointment, he needs to be here at least once. And if he's a reappointment, then we don't need him to come in. Yes, sir. Okay. Do I hear a motion?